Hello. In this video I need to go over 60 rides, so I'll start. Today I'm going to show all the rides at Knott's Berry Farm that have closed or been changed. The first ride is Boomerang. Opening in 1990, replacing Corkscrew, and closing in 2017, getting replaced by Hang Time, the ride is currently located in Trans Studio Cibubur, Indonesia. The ride has been many colors, being blue, purple with green supports, and yellow with green supports. This ride was very popular, however Hang Time is about as popular. Let's stay in the same place. Next up is Corkscrew. Corkscrew opened in 1975 and was called Roaring Twenties Corkscrew and got renamed, no date of change, and closed in 1989 to move to Silver Dollar City and got replaced by the previous entry, Boomerang. The funny thing is the new ride in Silver Dollar City has the same name and now is black and orange. As for Boomerang, is now called Boomerang Hypercoaster. The next ride on the list is Timberline Twister. Opening in 1983 and closing in 2023 and getting replaced by Snoopy's Tenderpaw Twister Coaster. This is definitely an improvement. Epic Fox 2, the guy who suggested this theme park, said that this ride felt like. Anyways, next entry. This roller coaster was one of two. Wacky Soapbox Racers opened in 1976 as Motorcycle Chase and changed in 1980 to its name, and in 1996 the ride got replaced by Windjammer Surf Races. The only other version of this coaster is Steeplechase at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, UK. Overall, this ride is sad to be gone as it's actually cool. The next ride was short-lived. Windjammer Surf Racers opened in 1997 and closed in 2000 to get replaced by Accelerator. This ride had a manufacturing defect, so the ride couldn't run during winds higher than 3 miles per hour, that's the speed of a brisk walk. It was doomed from the start and was hated till the end. Trademark that quote, I turned into a poet. The next ride is confusing. Balloon Race is open today, however it was rebuilt in 1992 by a different company. The original Balloon Race opened in 1983 and closed in 1991 to get rebuilt and is similar to how it is now. The next ride has not a lot to talk about. Camp Bus opened in 1992 and closed in 2023. The ride type is a magic carpet. I feel like there were better names than that. Next ride. Charlie Brown Speedway doesn't have an opening date but closed in 2013 and got moved to California's Great America in Santa Clara, California, and is now known as Peanuts 500. This ride looked really fun and I wish it was still open. The next ride has little to no pictures. Fiesta Wheel opened in 1969 and closed in 1986. It is the same ride model as Wipeout, however they are different entities. Overall, this ride had me looking for images that were close to impossible to find. If anyone can find one, let me know. Another semi-lost media ride. Gasoline Alley opened in 1969 and closed in 1996. You drove around a car, like Weird Autopia. Grand Slammer opened in 1987 and closed in 2003 to make way for La Revolution. This ride looks less intense than La Revolution, which depending on how you look at it is good or bad. It can go either way. This ride looks similar. Hammerhead opened in 1996 and in 2003 got moved to Wonderland Dubai and closed there in 2014. This ride looks crazy, wouldn't go on as I'm scared. This ride has had 5 different themes. Whirlwind opened in 1976 and in 1989 was rethemed to Grease Lightning, and then in 1996 was rethemed to Headache. In 2000 it was moved to Miracle Strip Amusement Park in Panama City Beach, Florida under the name Blue Lightning. In 2004 the ride was opened with the same name in Blue Diamond Park in Newcastle, Delaware, and finally closed in 2007. This next ride has recently closed. High Sierra Ferris Wheel opened in 1983 and closed in 2024. Even though it's called the High Sierra Ferris Wheel, it's only about 50 to 60 feet tall. This is one of 2 rides I've been on that's closed. Huff and Puff also opened in 1983 and also closed in 2024. This ride was controlled by little kids pumping the lever in front of them.
This ride was absolutely lit. Joe Cool's GR8 SK8 opened in 2003 and closed in 2013 and got moved to California's Great America in Santa Clara, California. This ride was a bomb and...
You're fired. Knott's Bear Whitetails opened in 1975 and was a story of how the Knotts makes their pies. In 1986 the ride was rethemed to Kingdom of the Dinosaurs. You went back in time to different time periods. In 2004 the ride closed and nothing was there until 2015. Voyage of the Iron Reef opened in the same building, however that's the only thing the rides share. Voyage of the Iron Reef was a ride where you shot targets similarly to Toy Story Mania. In 2021 the ride was changed to the still open Knott's Berry Tales Return to the Fair. That's the Knott's Dark Ride cycle, I guess. Wait, Kingdom of the Dinosaurs Revisit? This ride is cute in my opinion and just has a weird name if you think too long. Log Peeler opened in 1984 and closed in 2014. This was a kiddie scrambler. I think this ride closed as Pacific Scrambler opened in 2013 and there was lowered demand. This ride is crazy. Loop Trainer Flying Machine opened in 1976 and closed in 1989 and was sent to Attractiepark Slagharen in Slagharen, Netherlands. The ride is now known as Enterprise and is still open. I can't tell if it changed color because most pictures of it are in black and white. This ride has little to no photos, but I'll try my best. Mexico Whip opened in 1969 and closed in 1986 and is a tilt-a-reel. I don't know much else about it. Let's have a calm introduction. This next ride has murdered someone. Perilous Plunge opened in 2000 and closed in 2012 to make way for Pacific Scrambler, Coast Rider, and Surfside Gliders. A lot of people think the death caused the closure, however that's wrong for 2 reasons. The incident happened in 2001, 11 years before it closed as well. From what I heard it was the operator's fault as her lap bar wasn't down all the way. This ride is quite interesting. Propeller Spin opened in 1976 and closed in 1989. This ride is similar to the Graviton ride type but outside. Also, why are most Gravitron rides space-themed? This ride replaced Hammerhead. Riptide opened in 2004 and closed in 2016 to make way for Hangtime. This ride sat 38 people, which in my opinion feels like a lot. Then again, Los Voladores hold 48 people. I don't know what else to say. It's red and you could get sprayed by fountains. The next ride looks tall. Screamin' Swing opened in 2004 and closed in 2015. This ride was kind of an icon and it got replaced by the Calico stage. This ride is an icon. Sky Jump opened in 1976 and closed in 1999. You went up about 200 feet around Sky Cabin and then dropped down. From people I know who have been on this, they say this ride was terrifying. I wish this ride was still open as it looks really fun. Tampico Tumbler opened in 1987 and closed in 2002. This ride was a hesitance. This ride looks really fun and I wish it was still open. Tijuana Taxi opened in 1958 as Merry-Go-Round Auto Ride. In the 1960s the ride name was changed to Antique Auto Ride and in 1976 was named Tijuana Taxi. In 1986 the ride was moved to Castle Park in Riverside, California and is now known as Antique Auto Ride once again. This ride looks insane. Vertigo opened in 2001 and closed in 2002. There were 4 settings: Hot Rocket where you stay facing upright, Cosmic Flip where the rider would lean forward before dropping, Big Bang where the rider went upside down right after the launch and stayed upside down for most of the ride, and lastly Bing Bang Plus where it was completely random. This ride was an insane concept turned as insane as it was planned. Another ride with a short runtime. Windseeker opened in 2011 and closed in 2012 to make way for Soul Spin. This ride was moved to World of Fun at Kansas City, Missouri. It's a shame that this ride is gone as it had nothing wrong with it. This ride is similar to Headache as it changed names many times. Whirlpool opened in 1989 and was an indoor scrambler. In 1996 the ride was renamed to Headspin, and then in 2001 was moved to where the rapids are and was renamed to the Wilderness Scrambler and closed in 2007. In 2013 the ride was taken out of storage and turned into Pacific Scrambler, which is still open. This ride was technically dangerous. XK1 opened in 1989 and was a flight trainer. In 1991 Flight Commander at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio had someone fall out and die, so XK1 had its upside-down function disabled. In 2004 the ride closed to make way for Supreme Scream. This ride is really old and similar to the Calico Mine Train. Cable Car opened in 1955 and closed in 1979. This was a cable car. This was cool and it's rare to see footage about it. This ride isn't really a ride. Haunted Shack opened in 1954 and closed in 2000 and got replaced by Scream and Swing. You went through many rooms, each containing a different illusions. They brought back the Shack in 2021, however it only contained one room, which is lame. This ride is Autopia but weird again. Henry's Auto Livery opened in 1957 and closed sometime in the 1980s. You controlled old-fashioned car around a track which didn't have a center track until 1965. It's sad this ride closed. Mott's Miniatures opened in 1958 and had miniatures of different buildings like china shops and a library. The museum closed in 1992 and got moved to La Palma Avenue, still in Buena Park. However, the museum permanently closed in 1998. This ride will reopen soon. Montezuma's Revenge opened in 1978 and has been 3 colors. Yellow was the open and was until around the 2000s when it turned green. It was green until 2017 and was orange. In 2022 it closed for a short refurbishment. It's still closed, however it's set to reopen this year under the name Montezuma and the Forbidden Fortress and is now a dark green. This ride has changed a lot. Rocky Road Trucking Company opened in 1993 and in 2014 was rethemed to Rocky Mountain Trucking Company. In 2023 the ride closed and turned into Camp Snoopy's Off-Road Rally. I hated the sound of the horns on each vehicle, for per vehicle, 6 vehicles. A total of 24 horns going BUBA 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 BUBA. RIP, this ride was a legend. Walter K. Steamboat opened in 1969 and was a slope boat ride similar to the Mark Twain Riverboat at Disneyland. The ride closed in 2004 and got replaced by Silver Bullet. There was also the Cordelia K, another boat in the Knott's Lagoon where the main entrance is today. The Cordelia K got moved to where the Walter K. Steamboat, however that was deemed too difficult to run 2 boats, so the Cordelia Noise retired in 1983. This ride is probably permanently closed. Woodstock's Airmail opened in 1998 as Frog Hopper and in 2014 was rethemed in Woodstock's Airmail. In 2023 the ride closed for temporary closed. However it's been closed since. This ride lasted for 6 days because of serious backlash. Fear VR 5150 opened in 2016. The 5150 represents the California Welfare and Institutions Code for involuntary psychiatric holds. People thought this was insensitive to people with mental illness, so the next day the ride took the 5150 out of its name. Just 5 days later, and even more backlash, the ride closed. The Knott's Pacific Pavilion opened in 1986 and was an outdoor amphitheater. The Knott's Pacific Pavilion closed in 1998 to make way for Perilous Plunge. That's all. Did I mention the Perilous Plunge killed someone? Now it's time for the rides that are still open but changed a lot in their lifetime. Since Accelerator opened it was all red, however since 2021 the track is primarily red with orange, yellow and black. Besides that, the ride is pretty much the same. This ride was changed quite a bit. Bigfoot Rapids opened in 1988 and had little to no theming. In 2019, the ride got rethemed, or more accurately themed, to Calico River Rapids, which added Bigfoot. A little ironic scene, as Bigfoot was nowhere in the 1988 version. These rides just have minor tweaks like name changes. Carousel de California was named Merry-Go-Round until 2023. La Revolution went from primary to colder colors. Los Voladores was named Waveslinger until 2023. Soul Spin went from primary colors to more rocky theme. And Hat Dance was named Happy Sombrero from 1969 to 1987, then became Mexican Hat Dance, and in 1998 the ride went to just Hat Dance. Sky Cabin went from red and white checkered board, and in 1997 was changed to primary colors plus green, and then in 2002 was painted how it is now. Flying Ace was named Red Baron until 2014. And Wheeler Dearer Bumper Cars has changed a bit, original having white cars. In 2004, Lucy's Tugboat opened and had a roof and red color. In 2014, the ride was renamed to Rapid River Run and had yellow colors and no roof. These are the last two rides I'll cover. Calico Mine ride opened in 1960 and didn't really change until 2014, when they added 50 new animatronics and a new story. Calico Log ride opened in 1969 and was renamed in 1974 to Timber Mountain Log Flume. In 2013, the ride was rethemed similar to how the Calico Mine ride changed, except on a smaller scale, and lastly in 2019 they changed the design of the logs. I hope you enjoyed. This video took a while as I was on vacation and there was a lot of research, and AI script writing, and pictures of rides, and importing to YouTube. Overall, I hope you liked the video, and I'll hopefully post sooner than this one came out. See you and have a good day.